What's up, my Madden Rebuild Warriors? My name is David, and I'm here to bring you a look at the results of Week 17. A very important week, but not as important as Week 18 because we have a lot to decide about who's going to the playoffs in Week 18. But let's talk about Week 17. No, I don't think New England is in it anymore, but they got to 8-8 with a nice win here. But it wasn't pretty. It's never pretty with New England. Drake May struggles. Just can't get him to play spectacular yet. I don't know what it is. There's something in the water in New England where Drake just is the Drake. Some people hate the Drake, some people love the Drake. If you get that Seinfeld reference. I mean, it did get some numbers to Demario Douglas and Tycon Thornton, who's coming on strong here. Towards the end, he sucked at the beginning of the season. We took him out, tried a million different combinations of wide receivers on this team, and hey, we fixed them, and we're gonna teach you how we fixed them. So, Patriots are 8-8, and I don't think they have a chance at the AFC wild card, but who knows? They have a chance to go one game over 500 in Week 18, and I'll take that as a positive. All of our teams can't go to the playoffs. Just a quick result here, because this really doesn't matter except for the fact that it did not help the Eagles in the upcoming draft. Getting this win did, however, help the Atlanta Falcons. So we'll just quickly go through what happened here for stat-wise with the Eagles. But let's move on quickly. You would say this is an upset, but Baltimore is without Lamar Jackson for the last two games of the season. Really the last three because he got hurt last game. They're done. So the Buccaneers now, with this win, set up a big Week 18 matchup. Well, they're not playing the Saints, but them and the Saints will determine who's going to the playoffs. It's more of a defensive effort here, but yeah, the Ravens had no shot. Now the Ravens are out, and Tampa Bay has a chance to go to the playoffs with a win and a New Orleans loss, I believe. Two playoff teams here. Washington really didn't need the win. They're already in. They've clinched. Tennessee, however, I believe this put them into the playoffs. And they just need to win out. It's gonna be interesting to see how I work the schedule for Week 18, because there's a couple games that don't matter, and I'll probably put them first. Like the Monday night game doesn't matter really. At least I don't think. I don't know, because it's the Monday night, or there's no Monday night game. There's no Thursday night game. The Sunday night game is the 49ers and the Chiefs, and I don't know if the Chiefs need that game, but they might. I mean, things in the AFC wildcard are so crazy. So Tennessee, good for them. They kept themselves alive. Another game that didn't matter. We'll just show you Jacksonville's stats here. Jags got a win. Good, yay. One game closer to being 500. Bretton Strange, the career game, because Ingram's out. Calvin Ridley, maybe he finishes hot because he started hot and he's just been MIA in the middle of the season. Giants continue to win here. I don't know how they have, what is it, 6 or 7 wins now? But they do. So there you go with that. All that does is really shake up the middle of the draft order. But here's a surprising result. New Orleans going into Cleveland, and Will Levis not playing great. but they pretty much get it down on the ground and defensively. And this now sets up the Saints and the Buccaneers both have a chance at getting the last spot in the NFC. And that result really hurt the Browns, and they now have to. I think they're out of the playoffs right now. But I will say this: who knows what the hell's going to happen in the AFC wildcard? Because I think tiebreaker in Madden is a little off, but whatever. Again, another AFC team lost. The Bears didn't really need this, but it helps because, you know, just got to keep building their confidence pretty much. DJ Moore finally had a big game. So, Blossom Game had 4 catches. How does that happen? What in the... Williams, he's coming back. We just re-signed him. A little under the radar re-signing. So, I mean, big step up there for the Chicago Bears. And we knew this was going to happen. Our Carolina Panthers, without Bryce Young, well, doesn't matter if they had him or had him, but they weren't going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati is, and Joe Burrow are getting lit towards the end here. Chase Brown, the backup running back, boosts almost 200 yards. Johnny Wilson just having a monster end of the season, just like he began. Romo Dunes, forget rookies, he was one of the best wide receivers in the game. Insane. Talk about rookies. Also, Barrett Carter is the best defensive rookie. Not even a question. It's insane how good he is. Undersized, sub-package pass rusher. Get it done. Miami. We knew this was coming. Tua. This game got him an obvious AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Great for them. Tyreek Hill just going bananas. So, I mean, they're still around. They're still around. And then this really, I believe this. Don't Bo. I don't know why Bo Nix is starting. I've tried to fix it. They don't want Bo Nix starting. I mean, they don't want Matthew Stafford starting, and that cost. It cost them, and it put the Bills now. You know, they have a shot at the division. I think with tiebreakers, if they get a win and Miami loses in the final round. So, it's just the Bills a couple weeks ago were out of it. Now they're back into it. It's insane. And it's a week-to-week league. We saw this coming. I think Madden sometimes tries to even out the records here, and I believe that's what they did here. But I don't know. It's just a theory. It's a theory. But Baker Mayfield threw 6 interceptions. Yikes. Yeah, you're going to lose. It's a game really that didn't matter, so we're going to move on from it. This is probably the game of the week that we were all looking forward to. A potential Super Bowl preview. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL, and I mean, honestly, the Cardinals didn't need it, but I mean, they didn't show up at all. It looks like they were going to have a great day rushing the ball, but yeah, it was all the Chargers, man. Justin Herbert, 372 yards and a touchdown. Travion Henderson had a touchdown. Joshua Palmer had a great game. He had an amazing catch. Him and Stovar just, they couldn't be stopped. So, Chargers are charging, man. They're one of the best teams. But I don't know what's happening to 49ers, but they've gotten some really bad losses here towards the end of the season. But I guess good for Seahawks. Their defense is legit. A lot of people are going to be after him. I wonder if he goes to free agency. Kenneth Walker the third, because he's not on. I think he was on his last year of his deal, and they had not re-signed him yet. Tried to trade for him in the season, but they just wanted too much. Cowboys roll. Dak Prescott, yeah, 2 numbers. Got himself a NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Darius Slayton showing up randomly. Brandon Cooks just out of nowhere having a great season towards the end of the season. Their defense, I'm surprised their defense doesn't have any picks, but I don't know how many more picks their secondary can get because they have a ton. And then I don't think Denver has a chance. But this was a great win for them. Their defense is so good. They are so hot coming down the end of the season. And I really hope they can get in because they've just been on this awesome roll since Mac Jones came over in that trade. Their defense is balling. Their offense is balling. Doing enough to get it done. But Patrick Surtain, McKinstry, Justin Simmons, they're all just playing so well. So that is the Week 17 preview. Let's look at injuries. As we head into the final week. Cole Kmet is hurt again. Unfortunate. Bengals have a ton of people banged up. Now they can win. They get Jamar Chase back and Kappa, but they just lost Troy Fatanu, and Mixon's out for a while. It's okay. I'm not worried about Mixon, but I'm worried about them having their starting guards out. So we'll see what happens with that. And Bills are missing 2 of their offensive linemen. Broncos are missing Clowney. Ethan Patrick's out for the Browns. If the Buccaneers can get into the playoffs, they get back Rashad White, which is awesome for them. Rankins is out for the Cardinals, but that's all right. Chargers get to the playoffs. The Chargers are getting in the playoffs, and they're getting Quentin Johnston back just in time for the playoffs. Checo will be back. Colts are healthy. Commanders, Bryce Huff will be back. Cowboys are healthy. Eagles are healthy. Falcons are not healthy. 49ers are sort of healthy. Ingram's out for the season, but they're not going to the playoffs. Not going to the playoffs, but those are 2 big names. Another big name for the Packers. They're not going to the playoffs. Bryce Young's out. David Andrews, they lost him, but 9-8. If they win 9-8, it's not getting the playoffs, I don't think. Rams are relatively healthy. Ravens are out of it pretty much. That affects the Saints, who are trying to get to the playoffs with a win. Texans are out of it. Titans. Yeah, we're missing some key offensive linemen here going to the playoffs. That's not good. Look at Bagard Key. Doesn't matter for the Vikings. So that's injuries. Let's get to the final. Let's look at stats. Patrick Mahomes, 5,000 yards. Justin Herbert's right there. Joe Burrow, Tua, Prescott. No records being broken with passing touchdowns, so that's cool. Interceptions, yeah, probably. Drake May now the leader with Aaron Rodgers. Jonathan Taylor is the leader with Chris McCaffrey. Aaron Jones, yeah, the cream rises to the top, but we still got J.K. Dobbins and Henderson there. Trayvon Henderson's the number one in touchdowns. That playbook runs the ball in the red zone. It throws for Chiefs yards and rushes in the red zone. That's the difference. Terrace Marshall right behind Justin Jefferson. That's unfortunate. 114 catches. Maybe we can get him up to 120. Hopefully. Hunter Henry right there. Mingo. Get him a couple more. Adams, Mike Williams. Ridley O'Dunes. Brandon Cooks. Defense. CJ Mosley, 123 combined tackles. When you suck, you get a lot of tackles. And Mike Parsons really leveled off here. They got him. I thought he was going to go well over 30, but that's good to see. It's not crazy. This is where it's a little crazy. So much you can do to shape realistic numbers. But all right, that is a look at week 17 and a little peek into what we can expect with who's going to be active and not active for week 18. But let's get into the awards and looking at week 18, because week 18 is very important. There's a lot going on in the AFC wildcard. There's still a lot up for grabs, so we got to talk about it and try to figure it out so we know what games are the most important games to watch in week 18 so we can get to the playoffs and get a Super Bowl champion. Before we get into the playoffs, let's talk about who got AFC and NFC defensive and offensive players of the week for week 17. Dak Prescott and Pete Werner, if you're German, pronounce your W's as V's. Tua and Kazee, they all pretty much got boosts to their overall. I'll explain that later. Just a little bit to their awareness. But let's look at the playoffs. That's in the past. Here is currently who is in the playoffs. Now, if you look at the NFC side, only one spot is up for grabs. That is the number 4 spot. That's between the Saints and the Buccaneers. Everything else is pretty much set in stone, except for maybe where LA, the Commanders, and the 49ers fall in the wild card, maybe. But other than that, every spot's locked in except for the AFC South, or NFC South, I should say, misspoken. Everything's up for grabs in the AFC, especially the wild card. Bengals can win the division. Browns can not be in the playoffs. I mean, everything. I have no idea what the tiebreakers are, but there's so many teams involved, and they're not showing them that I can't explain what Madden's going to decide depending on the results and what they deem tiebreakers. I mean, I don't even know if the Chargers are going to be the number 1 seed. But anyway, we're going to do the game. I know there's a game sitting on my screen here. I'm not going to talk about these games particularly in depth because most of these games I'm going to show you right now are going to be the first batch of games I release. which are 8 games that have nothing to do with really big playoff implications. Like, no one's going to playoffs for the Giants and the Eagles. Now, Washington, I mean, they can really just improve their position and go 11-6 and stick to where they are in the standings of the playoffs, but they're already in the playoffs, so they can't win the division. I think they can only, I don't even know if they can go down if they lose, but they're not going to lose that game. So just worried about stats here and staying healthy. This is more for, draft position at this point. If you're an Atlanta fan, you would like to see them get something going for, I guess, a little bit, but you really want to take an L here and not hurt your draft position. So, I mean, give me the Falcons at home. Seattle just has not been good, and Atlanta has a better overall. I mean, they just need a quarterback, I think, to really do something. I mean, what kind of Cowboys team shows up on the road? Mike Tomlin's always fighting. Dallas is the number 1 seed no matter what. So they have that locked up. I'm going to guess they rest people. I don't even know if that happens. But I can see them resting people. And, I'm telling you, in Slow Sim, Madden tries to even things out a little bit with records. It's almost like real NFL, where I feel like there's manipulation. And I feel like Pittsburgh could win this one. And, I mean, Chicago, we have locked up the division. And we could just improve our record. And that's it. And I think that Chicago will do that on the road. Go to 10-7. Caleb Williams needs to try to get Offensive Rookie of the Year. And he can do that this week in Minnesota. It might be a close game. Minnesota can score some points, but give me my Chicago Bears. Our Chicago Bears. Another game in which shit don't matter. But I think the Madden gods will keep their records even. So I could see Vegas going into Jacksonville and getting to 7-10 and giving the Jags 7-10 just to even things out a little bit. I mean, if Vegas is smart, they won't win. They'll lie it down like dogs on the road, looking at vacation already, and further improve their draft position. Another game that does absolutely not matter. I mean, I believe the Jets have already locked up the number 1 seed, but talk about lie down like dogs. Arizona can go to 12-5 and be the number 2 overall seed. I'm pretty sure they have that locked in. But we want to see Kyler Murray really make a push here at the end to get into the MVP race, because I think he can go over 1,000 yards, and I could really help his case there. Another game here. Give me Detroit. Just even, kind of balancing out the wins a little bit. There's so many bad teams in the NFC. It's crazy. Just not playing well. Detroit's underperforming. Green Bay, I think, is underperforming compared to how things finished in 2023. So, give me Detroit, but who cares? Let's take some coffee and get into it, because this is where the playoff implications start. I believe the Chargers have the number 1 seed locked up, but that could still be on the line. I don't want to play with that. And then Tampa Bay, they're going to win. They're in the driver's seat for getting into the playoffs and winning the division. And that would put the pressure right on the Saints, who would then need to win to keep division control. So that's going to be a tough game. That's a playoff game in Week 18. Here it is. Speaking of the Saints need to win, and they're in, according to me. That's how it looks now, but you never know how tiebreakers go. The Rams are already in. They're already locked in. But the Saints need to win, because if the Buccaneers win, the Saints need to win, and then the Saints are in. So those 2 games are for the division. So this will be the second batch of games I'm releasing. And that should be a pretty good game. This is for the division. This is crazy. Tennessee has a chance at the division, and that would, or not, it just with a win, I think they can get the division. But if they win, they're definitely in the playoffs at 11-6, in my opinion, and that might move in. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I believe if Tennessee wins, they're both in, because Tennessee's currently in right now. So Tennessee needs to win that game. Baltimore needs to win this game to have a shot, but they probably need other teams to lose. But I don't see Baltimore winning this game for the fact that they don't have Lamar Jackson. They really, this would have been really crazy. Lamar never got hurt. What the records would have been for both teams. It probably would have been a 3-team race, and all 3 teams making the playoffs, possibly, if Lamar never got hurt. But tough road for them. Now, I think Cincinnati is clearly in. I'd love to see our New England Patriots go to 9-8. Just keep building on Drake May's career, but they've been teetering on 500 to just a game below 500 all season. Cincinnati's rolling. Joe Burrow's big game hunter. I know he's down some guys. He's down even more players, but I think he can get it done against a really tough team on the road in New England. And then I can't wait to watch this matchup. You talk about games I want to see. Cleveland loses, they could be out of the playoffs, and then that helps the Bengals win the division. And then if Denver wins, I think that sneaks them into the playoffs. They've been the hottest team. I haven't been rebuilding Denver, but we traded Mac Jones to them, and ever since then, they've really taken off. Their defense is balling. I want to see Denver win this game and make the playoffs. That's what this is all about. That's the drama of doing an entire season of slow sim. And then this is for the division and for the playoffs. And I think if Buffalo wins at home against Miami, they win the division and they're both in the playoffs. Either way, if Buffalo wins, I don't know who's going to win the division if Buffalo wins. No idea what tiebreaker is, but typical Miami fashion, go on the road to colder weather at the end of the year and lose that. So give me the Bills at home. And then the final game here, old Super Bowl matchup on Monday Night Football from this past year. Give me the Chiefs. They're a machine. I don't know what happened to San Francisco, but they've really just shit the bed the last couple weeks of the season. I think they're on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak. And Kyle Shanahan, what you doing, brother? But the big part here is probably for Patrick Mahomes to lock up the MVP. I really hope it goes to Justin Herbert. He's right behind him, or whatchamacallit? Oh man, I'm having a brain fart. So many names right now and teams I'm thinking about. Kyler Murray, yeah. Jeez. I'm hoping Kyler Murray gets it. Those 3 guys I think are in the MVP race the most. Kyler Murray hasn't thrown a lot of the yards and the touchdowns that Herbert and Mahomes has, but he has what will probably be over 1,000 rushing yards and over 5 rushing touchdowns. So a really good touchdown to interception percentage for Kyler Murray. I really hope Kyler Murray gets it. If not that, offensive player of the year, so we can really improve Kyler Murray going into playoffs with a development upgrade. All right, guys, tell me which games you are looking forward to the most. Like I said, all of our rebuild teams, no matter who they're playing, when they're playing, I look forward to. Some of our teams have some really important games like the Titans and the Bengals, but I can't wait to watch that Browns Broncos game, because I've just been watching this Broncos team win and win and win. They've beaten some great teams. They've beaten fucking the Chiefs on the road in prime time. They're just balling. They've have 1 loss in the second half of the season. They're unbelievable. So, we got playoff races all over the AFC to decide all kinds of seeding. You got the NFC South. Who's going to win that? Is it the Buccaneers? Is it the Saints? which teams are in, which teams are out. We also have the final week to decide MVP races, Offensive Player of the Year races, Defensive Player of the Year races, Rookie of the Year races, all that stuff. There's so much up in the air. Please tell me what you're looking forward to the most. Is Patrick Mahomes going to be the MVP? Is it going to be Justin Herbert? Is it going to be Kyler Murray? And if you haven't, please drop a like. Please subscribe. Please catch up to everything because we are about to start the playoffs after this week. These games are recorded, they're ready to be uploaded, and you'll start seeing them very soon, either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure because first, I got to record these games and then I got to upload these games, so it takes a lot of work. But I can't wait to get this out to you. It's week 18. Yeah, and then let's get into the playoffs and hopefully get another season in before Madden 25 drops. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time.